Hi, I'm Ryder MacKenzie. I'm in 8th grade. I'm at Prescott Mile High Middle School.
My name is Jane Robertson. I'm a 2nd grade teacher here at Abayajud Elementary in Prescott, and this is my 30th year teaching school here at Abayajud.
Mrs. Robertson, my 2nd grade teacher, was a big impact in my life because she always had a smile on her face when we walked into class. She was always positive and just a joy to be around.
My first assignment teaching was in Victoria, Australia, in a little tiny 3-room schoolhouse, and I had kindergarten and 1st graders combined together. And it was quite the experience. It was very, very fun.
Whenever anyone was down, she would bring them back up. We would start off our mornings with her singing and playing guitar to our class. The best years of it so far was being in her class, not for 1 year, but for 2, which I liked a lot.
First of all, I have to say that I'm totally honored that Ryder MacKenzie remembers me. Ryder MacKenzie was in my 1st and 2nd grade classroom. I did what was called a loop. So I had Ryder from the time he left kindergarten till just before he was ready for 3rd grade.
Being a teacher isn't the easiest, so when a kid would misbehave, she wouldn't just send him or her away. She would resolve it with talking and being positive. So whenever I was having a bad day, I would always think of what she would do and do it.
The thing that I remember most about Ryder at the beginning was he wore his hair a little bit longer. He was absolutely adorable, and he had a smile that reached from ear to ear, and he was always smiling. He was one of those kids that he loved singing, and we sang every day in class. He loved doing art. He was excited about everything that we did in 1st and 2nd grade. Ryder was always into it. We put a play on in 1st grade, and it was called The Little Red Hen, and he was one of the characters in the Little Red Hen musical, and he was all excited and wore his plaid shirt and his little straw hat, and he just was always enthusiastic about whatever we were doing. I think that's what I remember the most about him. He just was always full of excitement about whatever we were doing, and he was always smiling, that great big Ryder smile, which I still remember. And when I saw him a couple weeks ago at Mile High to get my picture taken with him, that was the first thing I saw again, was that great big smile on his face that hasn't changed at all.
We definitely were close because it wasn't just a class. You'd walk in and do work and just stare at a book. You'd always have fun, and she'd always brighten your learning experience.
The biggest lesson I learned my 1st year, and I think we all have the same experience with your 1st year, is that you don't know what you thought you knew. When you first get into the classroom, you realize that I'm not totally prepared for this yet, and you have to accept the fact that you're going to make mistakes and that you're going to get better as you go. You're nervous, you try to make friends with the children rather than be their teacher, and I think I made that mistake. But the one thing I realized at the same time was that I was in the spot that I was supposed to be in, and teaching was going to be what I wanted to do for the rest of my career. I picked the right spot, I just had to learn the right procedures and the right organizational skills and just learning how to be a good teacher.
We would always start off our day like that. I don't remember like the lyrics, but we would sing Baby Beluga and the Hokey Pokey and a bunch of other ones.
I play the guitar every day at school, and we sing songs that match what we're studying in school. We sang Baby Beluga a couple weeks ago when we were doing endangered animals. We sing all the patriotic songs. They don't leave my classroom without knowing the Star-Spangled Banner and America and God Bless the USA. They know all of those songs. We also sing math songs, so we can count by 3s with math and tell time by math with math songs, and we also sing just because it's fun. Abayajud really defines what my philosophy is in education, that we take each kiddo as they come across the threshold, and we do as much as we can with that child and take them as far as they can go. And I've been blessed with good friends. I've been blessed with great principals. I had the honor when I worked with Mr. Bill Munson. I received the 2004 Arizona Teacher of the Year Award, so I was Teacher of the Year for Arizona. And that was a pretty wild experience. I got to meet the president, I got to meet the governor, I got to travel around the state, I got to go to Washington, D.C. and represent Prescott teachers. Sometimes I have a hard time imagining it's been 30 years, because it's gone so quickly, but I also know that there are other things for me to do and places for me to volunteer and more people for me to meet and more places for me to travel. So it's the right stopping spot for me right now.
after 30 years, I think I saw. It's been a long time, but she deserves a break, I guess.
I will miss them. It's a very bittersweet time in my life right now to be thinking about retiring, but this is where I was supposed to be, and I know I did the right thing, and I wouldn't have traded one moment of this entire 35-year career of mine.
It makes me feel kind of like sad because after all those years of like teaching kids and having fun and having like their experiences, I guess, she made a big impact on the kids, I'm sure, in my class. I remember everyone else would always talk about her, a fun teacher.
The thing that I'll miss, it's that first day of school excitement when the kids come in the room and there's a new teacher and it's a new room and they're a little bit nervous, and my job is to make them feel like they found a new home for the next 10 months.
Thank you, Mrs. Robertson, for giving me a great experience in 1st and 2nd grade, and I hope you have a great retirement.
Mr. Ryder MacKenzie, if you are watching this, which I hope you are, you need to know that I am so honored that you selected me as someone who made a difference in your life. I remember you so clearly in 1st and 2nd grade. I remember that smile, I remember that enthusiasm, I remember that I'll try Mrs. Robertson attitude that you always had. And when I saw you again just a couple weeks ago, I saw the same smile and I saw the same enthusiasm, and I have highest hopes for you that you can go on and become whatever you want to be in this world. And I've been honored to know you, and thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Chicken lips and lizard hips.